What up, tubers? Welcome back to another draft here on Arena. Thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to check out cardkingdom.com/Numot for all your magic card needs. Got some of this Wilds of Eldraine. Some more of it, of course. New set. I've not been having very good luck in this format at the beginning, but I feel like that's often the case with me. I start off kind of cold in a format, and then I pick it up along the way. But let's see if we can do some good work here as we move into our pick one, pack one. We've opened the Iron Crag. This card is fine. There are certainly a decent number of legendaries to turn this into a big equipment. And I mean, it's a 2-mana rock. Not terrible. Glass Casket is always a pretty solid choice for a 2-mana white removal spell. There's a Hamlet Glutton here. Very, very good common. Click is a pretty good uncommon. Kind of want to just take the click here. Maybe there's a world where I can do like the blue-white tap deck. I've never seen that thing really come together very well, and it would be a cool one to do. And click, I think, was a fine first choice there anyways. Getting past an Imodaine's Recruiter. This is one of the best uncommons in the format. It may not look like much, but this is just a 2/2 with a ton of potential. The adventure's great, and it leads nicely into the creature version of it. And sometimes you just cast this without even casting the adventure, and that's good enough to just swarm your opponent. So I'm going to have a hard time passing that card, but some other good notables in the pack. Neva, Stalked by Nightmares. Good black-white graveyard recursion for both creatures and enchantments. Gadwick's First Duel has been solid. Just a nice saga that gives you lots of value for 2 mana. Conceited Witch has been pretty good for the Wicked roll plus the Menace creature. Vermin's been solid, but this is one of the top uncommons in the cube in the draft format, so seems like a pretty easy pick there for me. Into a pack that some good cards here for sure. Maybe a little bit awkward with what we've already taken. There's a Spellscorn Coven, another really good adventure creature. Relevant ability on all of its sides. The adventure, notably, again, it's a spell, so you can't bounce something that's already on the battlefield. It has to be on the stack before it has resolved. Another Hamlet Glutton here. I've been a big fan of Collector's Vault. It's a little bit slow and dirty, and the more I play this format, the more I realize you probably just need to be, developing to the board early, so maybe not the best card, but seems fine. There's also a Ratcatcher Trainee. Another pretty solid one for the more aggressive decks, and the nice thing is this is both sides are red, so it's even good in the non-rat decks. You know what? I'm going to take the Trainee to follow up the Recruiter and see if we can, okay, now maybe do something like this, as we're going to take an Ash here, 4th pick. When I first played this card, I didn't realize that it was a 1/1 counter on the creature. So this can just continuously get bigger and bigger. At first, I thought this was just +1/+1 until end of turn for Celebration, and that's not very exciting. But this card can do some real work. A lot of other good cards in this pack. I'm a big fan of the Hearth Elemental. Oftentimes, you can just cast this as like a 2 or 3 mana 4/5 later in the game, and if you do get to Stoke Genius for the adventure mode, it's also just fantastic. Frantic Firebolt, solid removal. Besotted Knight, actually a really, really nice adventure creature. But let's take the Ash here and see if maybe we can do a nice little red-white aggro, as we're getting a Monstrous Rage, another fantastic trick for the red aggro deck. On the turn you cast it, it's giving the creature +3/+1 in trample, and then it's always going to leave that monster roll around. So great pickup here. We're losing a Stockpiling Celebrant, another card I've had some really good success with. So many good ETB effects. Creatures these days just don't have vanilla stats. You're always going to have something that has some kind of ability, bargaining or ETBs. So a card like Stockpiling Celebrant has just got so crazy in this day and age we live in, but Monstrous Rage has been a really good one. This is a nice start. So I don't think I would play the Threadbind Click just for the removal option. Maybe if I picked up some random blue sources, it would be okay, but destroy target tapped creature when we're going to beat red-white aggro is not really a thing. Another one I've been really happy with is the Belligerent of the Ball. Just a 3-mana 3/3 with good celebration upside of making it really hard to block something. So we got the Imodanes already that can make 2 creatures. We have the Ratcatcher Trainee that can make 2 creatures. So Ash and Belligerent here already have a couple of ways to turn on their Celebration. The best ways to turn on Celebration are like the Hopeful Vigil. Is that what it's called? The 2-mana white enchantment that makes a 2/2 token when it enters. That's a great way to just immediately turn it on. Haven't played too much with the Witch's Mark, but I do think it's a solid card in these decks. Oftentimes, you do not want to draw more than, say, 3 or 4 lands. And so the Witch's Mark can pitch the excess lands while also giving you a nice little roll to apply the pressure. So it's not just like a thrill of possibility, right? You're actually getting some benefit of this type of card in your aggressive deck. The Archon's Glory has been another surprisingly good trick in this format. It pushes a lot of damage pretty easy, and the bargain is pretty relevant. Merry Bards is not bad. I'm not the biggest fan of Young Hero role, but it is fine. Bespoke Battle Garb is also honestly okay. It turns your smaller creatures that can't really attack very well into larger threats. I think I like taking the first Archon's Glory here because these are all basically replaceable cards anyways. As we are getting... Yeah, Gnawing Crescendo hasn't been all that impressive either. Break the Spell is maybe okay sometimes. Skewer Slinger. If this dealt 1 damage to like the player, this would maybe be okay, but I wouldn't say a 1/3 reach is where you want to be. In fact, I think this pick is a pretty good Grotto. While the mana requirements for red-white aggro are usually pretty solidified, the Grotto could give us good splashy potential. Maybe. I would potentially run up to 2 Archon's Glories. Although I guess I could stay open here if I wanted to and just take Rat out. I'd say we're not necessarily locked into white, and I guess we'll keep ourselves open by taking 1 Glory and 1 Archon's, or rather 1 Rat out. 2 Unveil Guide's been another one I haven't been particularly impressed by. It's like okay. I think I'd rather just take the Bespoke Battle Garb here, even if we don't end up running it. Warehouse Tabby has also been entirely unimpressive, even in the Rat deck or the Enchantment deck. Catapult, yeah, that is a possible play. It's a good way to push in extra damage, though. It's usually kind of a weird creature in maybe like the Boros deck or even the red-black Rat deck. Not because you don't have access to instants and sorceries, it's just all your other creatures can actually attack, so you get benefit from things like Monstrous Rage, whereas in red-white, perhaps you don't get that, you know? Okay, we opened another Imodane's Recruiter here for our pack 2 pick 1. This is a fantastic looking pack for red-white. We have Torch the Tower, good 1-mana removal. We have Edgewall Pack, great 4-drop top-end curver, Unassuming Sage, either a 2-mana 2/2 or a 4-mana 3/3 with the Sorcerer role. Totentons is okay here, Stab Wound is okay here. The Recruiter is just easily the best card in the pack. Totentons is honestly a little bit mediocre anyways. It's a nice one to have, but it's nowhere on the level of the Recruiter. 2 Recruiters is kind of nuts. I will say Twisted Sewer Witch is a really nice one, but I don't think we're going to take that, not with 2 of the Recruiters. Now, I mean, you can play Recruiter in a non-white deck and it would still be fine. You would want to have a couple of sources of white for it. Like, Twisted Sewer Witch is pretty great if I wanted to take it. Shatter the Oath is good. But I think I could just take, like, the Grand Ball Guest here and be perfectly happy about it. Another Celebration card. Good aggressive 2-drop. I think I'd rather do that. And it's also just a red card, which we know we're pretty heavily in, right? That is a lot of cards we are probably not playing. I guess we take the Edgewall in here. I don't love tap lands in an aggressive deck, but when I have 2 Recruiters, I mean, it is still just a nice card to have. Talion the Kindly Lord, 4-mana 3/4 flying. Choose a number between 1 and 10. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value, power, or toughness equal to the chosen number, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. That's strong. I mean, obviously we can't take it. For us, we have like a Kellen's Light Blades. Return Triumphant has been pretty good. In fact, Return Triumphant with 2 Recruiters looks kind of nice here. Let's do that. I've been reasonably happy with this card. Ooh, another Monstrous Rage if we want to, or another Ratcatcher Trainee. I think both are pretty good options. I mean, in theory, it's harder to pick up the Monstrous Rage because it's uncommon, right? Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like taking another Rage here. I'm going to do that, I think. This is one of those decks, if I get, like, some Ginger Brutes, I'd be pretty happy with it. Another Grand Ball Guest looks okay here. So this is a deck that's going to really, really want to be able to turn on the Celebration. Like, I need to get those Celebrants, that 3-mana 3-2 that I was noting. We've only seen one of them this entire draft. Now this looks really good, though. Maybe removal-wise, I'm a little bit lacking, but these decks don't always need so much removal. You kind of just swarm the opponent, you know? Okay, there's a protective... What is this? Oh, the Asinine Antics, yeah. For each creature your opponents control, you make a Cursed Roll token attached to that creature. That's a fun one. That is a fun one for sure. It's a mythic too. Haven't had the chance to play with that. I don't have too many enchantments. I have a few for like the Slumbering Keep card. I don't think the Harried Spear Guard is all that good though, but I guess I'll take it. Moment of Valor is alright here. It's a nice little trick that he can either protect a creature or kill a big one, so kind of versatile in that regard. Yeah, I don't think we want the Catapult here. I wouldn't be surprised if I was supposed to be pairing my red with a different color. But like I said, it's so hard to pass up the double recruiter. But we could just be playing like red-black and then having a couple of random pieces of white fixing like the... I mean, even the Edgewall Inn is, I would consider fixing, right? Because you get to choose the color. Let's take the Sage here, I think, over the Daredevil. I don't know, these type of creatures tend to perform better than they look. It's a combat trick and a 4-2 for 3. You know what? I'm going to end up taking that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. No, 4-ish 2-drops right now. Like, you're not thrilled about this card, but it does its job. Minecart Daredevil. All right, well, not bad. That's 40 gems in the long term. Remember, whenever I say I'm taking a card for gems, it's because if you own 4 of a card, any excess card, rare or mythic anyways, turns into gems. 40 for a mythic, 20 for a rare. And given I draft enough, I usually end up with a full collection relatively quickly between the cards that I open and the pack winnings. Damn, super late Johan. I mean, I could be playing red-blue here still. I don't think that would be crazy. Like I said, my red could be paired with anything here, and I could just be splashing like the Recruiter adventure mode. We'll see what pack 3 gives us. We did open a red rare. It is not the one you want to be seeing, though. That is the Leyline of Lightning. Yeah, and a very nice blue-black fairy. We do have the Hopeful Vigil, though. That was one of the cards we were looking for. In fact, I think this is more important than Cooped Up in our deck. That sounds crazy, but I have a lot of Celebration, and this is just a lot of value, too, anyway. So pick one, pack 3. I'm going to take that Hopeful Vigil. There's a Woodlands Acolyte here, so 3 mana 2/2 draw card. Nothing wrong with that. Again, probably not going to have the adventure ability active frequently, but it's a solid enough creature, right? Passing Grabby Giant, passing Archon, that seems okay. Another Twisted Sewer Witch too, actually. But I've already made my bed, so it's time to sleep in it. Would be a little bit late to pivot now. You all can yell at me in the comments. Why didn't I move into the rat deck earlier? Actually, we haven't seen a lot of the signpost commons in all of these colors. I don't think I've seen a Candy Grapple. We've only seen like one of the torches. Man, a third Twisted Sewer Witch, nasty, and even a Lord Skitter's Butcher. But Embereth Veteran, very, very nice here. So is the Besotted Knight. I would love to get a Besotted Knight. I just think the 1-drop's probably better. There's probably a world where we can wheel one of these two cards. Our curve is pretty darn low. Average of 2.1. I'm guessing this is going to be a 16-land deck. So a lot of times it's a little bit misleading. Even with a curve this low, we do have like the double adventure here, which are 5 mana. So running more lands is not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, there goes a Candy Grapple. Dragon Mantle's okay here. Another Daredevil's probably fine. I mean, hell, even just taking the flyer is honestly not the worst, even though I don't care for the card all that much. Nice, another Belligerent of the Ball's great. Oh, maybe? Do I actually need to take Cut In over the Belligerent of the Ball? When you play this on curve, it's really good, and I am a little bit lacking in the removal department right now. God, I like the Belligerent so much, but I think I probably should play it a little bit smart and take the creature here. Tattered Ratter. Whenever a rat you control becomes blocked, it gets +2/+0. I have a couple of rats. So it's just a 2/2 with some small random upside. Question is that better than a Spear Guard? Probably. Especially if we wheel like the other Rat Catcher trainee. Impact Tremors, that's a fun one. I'm guessing I'm probably supposed to take this Fanatic Firebolt. Yeah, I don't have that many creatures anyways. Another Guest, another Giant, another Daredevil. Let's take the removal. Don't think I want to be running that 2-drop. The Catapult is actually looking better and better. I do have quite a few instants and sorceries now. Like we have a total of 8, and that's not including any of the adventures, which add probably another 3 or 4, right? Easily. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. To nobody's surprise, Leyline of Lightning Wield. Man, Twisted Sewer Witch coming around like that. How good is a second Archon's Glory here? Looks like it's a bit medium in this deck. We didn't want... This was the one card we didn't want to wheel. The other 2 red cards would have been better. Another Daredevil, probably. Gosh, I wonder if I should just run the Skewer Slinger as another 2-drop. So this was a little bit messy. Red was certainly a good spot to be in, I think, but I should have paired it with black or maybe even blue was the right color combination. I ended up getting the ash and then kind of soft forcing it. I mean, look at my white cards. My best white cards are actually my red cards, if that makes sense. I don't think this is a bad deck. It's certainly a very aggressive one. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I wish I had one more 2-drop. I guess with all of my pump effects, it's not going to be bad to just run this random Skewer Slinger. And then I have to question, do I want to run the Unruly Catapult as well for some extra reach? I don't think I do. And we're not going to need to run this Crystal Grotto, right? I don't have any off color. These are all red, 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 white, which we're already playing. So Edgewall in and 15 other lands. Yeah, just look at the white cards I'm playing. Basically, we're splashing white for Recruiter. Everything else is kind of meh. That's on me. Like I said, this deck is fine, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually do quite a bit of crushing, but it could have been better. Okay, let's go off to round 1. Let's hope a lot of recruiting is done, because that is, I'm guessing, our main strategy. Okay, let's start things off well, I hope. That would be a keeper for me. We're on the draw, just need to find one more land, ideally. Well, there's the land. The question is now, do I play that so I can play 3 drops next turn? I don't think we need to do that since we have some other 2-mana plays, so I'm just going to lead off with the Tatter-Ratter. And if we draw another untapped land, then good. Voracious Vermin. It's like, let's go. We could name green for that with the Woodland Acolyte ability, but I think we're just gonna name red here and say go. Discard 2 cards. All right. Let's discard the Mantle and the Acolyte, I think. Actually, we can discard one of the Daredevils. But I was going to say, if we discard the Acolyte, we can bring it back with Triumph. Alright, I'll block. I'll use Daredevil. Their Vermin gets bigger by 1. I take 1 damage from the roll. Actually, let's just play out the 4-2. Seems fine here. Shatter the Oath. Okay. So I'm going to take 4. Hopeful Vigil. Let's just go 2-2 draw a card. Hey, nice draw there. And I think we're going to do a little bit of racing. Three cards left in their hand. No attacks. Okay, ooh, Ash too. I think we're just going to smack in here and see what they do. I'm going to Monstrous Rage whatever they block, I think. I wanted to see what they did first before playing out the Ash. I know Ash has haste, but we didn't want them to block the Ash, because next turn we get to Hopeful Vigil and turn on the Celebration immediately. Fair enough. Fair enough. But you know what? We can return that triumphantly, and that's going to trigger the Celebration as well, because it's going to bring back the Ash as well as put on the roll. So kind of nuts there. Boom, boom, boom. Very nice. I don't think a 2/2 is going to quite cut it here, friend. Nor is back for seconds. Alright, they are just dead on board. GG's. The aggro is real. Yeah, so I'm hoping the format doesn't turn into just some aggro fest. I really want to be able to dirtle with cards like the Glutton and stuff, but... And I'm about 20 drafts or so in now, as of this recording anyways. So, from what I've seen, the aggro decks are really well positioned, and the slower, dirtly decks have a real hard time without having a lot of good, cheap interaction. Okay, game number 2. I think we can all agree that's a mulligan of a hand, and that one is a keeper. Let's lose the second white here. And then redraw the second white immediately. I might have a problem if we don't find anything to do next turn. Okay, that was pretty good, actually. I wonder if in my position I'm actually supposed to slow roll this and get the full adventure value off of it. I think I am. Just go for double spell here, double spell there, right? That makes a lot of sense. I am immediately going to block here. If they're going to spend their turn activating ability, that's great for us. Because not only do I replace it immediately, I also know that I get to attack in with a bunch of 1/1s next turn. In fact, I think I'm going to bring back the Spear Guard here as well. Like I said, this is what our deck wants to do, and then the adventure mode of the Recruiter into the Recruiter is going to be pretty good. They might be a little bit more cautious about attacking now. Like again, if they attack with the Admirer, I would immediately block. This one makes more sense because they would only have to pay 1 to sacrifice to eat it. But if they attacked with the Admirer, I'd snap block, they'd have to pay 4 again. Yeah, that's what we didn't want to see. But if they're not careful, we can do a ton of damage next turn between the Belligerent into the Recruiter. Like, I'm actually hoping they just attack with, like, everything here. This is basically infinite damage. So they can go block, block, 5, 8, 11, 14. Yeah, I mean, we go for it. And 2 of our creatures have vigilance anyways. Sure, that's fine. We gave the 5/3 menace. Look at that. Look at that. If that doesn't convince you that Imodaine's Recruiter is insane, well, you're crazy. What a card. I'm glad we fully utilized our adventure cards there. It's like instead of running the rat out on turn 2, playing it instead as the make 2/1/1s was really good. Red-white beatdowns. Sorry, Glutton. It is not your world. Game 3. That hand looks good. Don't have a 1-drop here, so the edge wall in on red is nice. Lets us play out all of our cards. Turn 1 Sprite. Well, if they do have a Curiosity for that later, we can bolt it, but they would get a couple of cards off of it if that were the case. Oh, they have the Lord Skitter's Blessing. Okay, so we really do need to kill that, because that's still going to let them draw multiple cards a turn here. Pass. Wonder if they just have a counter. I'm expecting them to have a spell stutter, I guess. I could let them draw another card and then bolt on their upkeep. And that would force them to tap out a bit. I guess let's do that. And maybe they cast something end of turn and I get to firebolt their sprite anyways. Okay, that worked out. So if they did have a counter, we got rid of their rolled creature. Nice draw. I'm going to lead on the random 4/2 here into a counter or removal spell, because that's the least relevant of our creatures. That's fine. They do get to scry because they have an enchantment, but... Ooh, I don't like to see double top. Plains. Oh, Neva. Okay. So, they're doing a little bit more nonsense than first expected, but this is a great opportunity to get the troops recruited here. And this will be a good setup turn. We have Belligerent into Recruiter again, potentially. And pretty good. If the Recruiter dies, we have the Edgewall in to bring it back. So kind of insane, actually. Yeah, I'm just going to discard the rat here. Make sure that I can go Belligerent into Recruiter next turn. Oh, they did have a Curiosity. That's alright, though. Belligerent. Recruiter. Smackdown. 14 damage coming your way, my friend. So, the Coven now, a liability because it's enchanted. They will lose life from the Blessing. A slight liability, I should say. Not a full-blown liability. But yeah, I don't think they were supposed to block the Coven or the Recruiter there. We can get it back with the in. Okay, they're currently dead on board. We have like a Kellen's Light Blades or something. No? Alright, now they're dead. The Blessing kills them, yep. Oh, yeah, this deck kind of slaps. Don't have as much removal as I would like, but I guess you don't need removal when your opponent's just dead, right? Let's go to game number 4. On the draw. We're going to keep this hand. Turn 1 Spear Guard, and then turn 2 we can discard one of these excess lands, suit it up, and draw a couple of fresh ones. It's a good card. 1 mana 3/3 flying Ward 2 that doesn't untap for the first couple of turns, but you can just invest a couple of mana into it to untap it even faster. Card is nasty. Ward 2 is pretty nuts. Since we drew the Hopeful Vigil, we don't need to Witch's Mark this turn. That is kind of a weird play. Is that really worth casting that right there instead of... I don't know. Because maybe there's a reason they want that in the exile zone. Bitter Chill. Sure, that guy's tapped down now. Oh, does this fizzle my Witch's Mark? Because I lose the target? Oh, it does. I should have thought about that. Right. Because that has a target, if you do choose a target and they get rid of it, it fizzles your spell completely. That might cost me. Now we have a bunch of creature tricks and no way to use them. Yeah, like I'm just gonna cycle this mantle. Okay, I mean, at least it's a creature. Their 3/3 does untap now, though. Oh, they have a cut-in of their own? That's gross. Yeah, you could tell. Alright, just a couple of pieces of interaction was all it took here. Pretty bad spot. If they draw land, they have another 3/4 flyer. I have no pressure. They find a bargain card, they get a 3 cards. Wonder if this game was winnable had I not gone for the roll on my 1/1, had I thought about the targeting effect. Might still have been unwinnable, but would have been in a better spot, certainly. Alright. That ain't gonna do it, friends. Yeah, I'm not sure even if I had correctly chosen not to target. I'm not quite sure, though. 3 and 1. Alright, good beats on to game number 5. That's a keeper. It is mono red, but it is certainly a fine hand. Need to find a couple of lands. We got a 2-drop creature, 3-drop creature, a couple of tricks removal. Perfect. Drew the white source immediately. Don't even need to sweat that, at least. I'm pretty sad I have to play this as a 2-drop, but I guess it is kind of annoying for them to block. That Acolyte was another nice draw. So... Man, I want to trade damage here, but I trade 1 damage for their 2, which I don't think is right. Belligerent of the Ball. Alright, let's go to combat now. Nice, that works for me. Let's put a monstrous roll on this bad boy, and that has trample now. So we're gonna hit him for a bunch and then play out another creature. Most importantly, that gets an instant in our graveyard, so now Frantic Firebolt can deal 3 to the Belligerent. Ooh, they have an Archon. They have an Archon, but we have the outs to it. Okay, we get to keep attacking here. Awesome. Continue to put them in a really bad spot. So we can... Actually, do we want to kill both of those? I guess we do. Oh, right. The other roll was going to fall off. I did that in the wrong order. I think I could have hit them for 1 or 2 extra trample damage. That was a mistake on my part. They have the recruiter. Okay. Ah. Shoot. They got to 5 before I did, so we might be losing this one. They can go 3-drop into recruiter. No, they didn't play the 3-drop. They have a 4-drop here. I think I'm supposed to offer the trade for one of their 2/2s. And I guess now I'm just going to pass and hold up removal. I will bolt that in response. Oh, they have a moment of valor? Come on. Wow, that's sick. And now they get to Imidane's Recruiter me next turn, and I missed on lands again. Are you kidding? I'm going to take a lot of damage next turn. Oh, where are my lands? Oh. Jeez, 3 lands in the top 17 cards, and they drew another 3-drop to curve into the Imidanes. Oh, come on, man. That sucks. A lot. I can block here. Oh, if I had been able to hold priority, I would have been able to give my creature lifelink before the damage ping was dealt. Oh, that's so sick. It was literally who could adventure their Imidanes first, and, I mean, I got stuck on 3. I did make that one mistake with the roll. How much damage would I have dealt to them? Would have trampled for 2... I would have trampled for 3 damage total, so I didn't really lose that much damage on that one turn that I misused my tricks, but sucks. I'm mad. Good beats though. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. On the play, hey, that looks like a good hand. Let's get to 5 for recruiting purposes. Minstrosity. They want to block here, great. We'll use the Archons, sack the Hopeful, get a Scry. We don't actually... I think maybe keeping the moment is okay, since they're playing green. And then I'm going to cast the Monstrous Rage right now for a thick amount of trample damage. Look at that. Fire-breathing Trampler is pretty good. Sure. So we can give it indestructible, pump it by 1. Now they can cast it as their adventure. This is the reverse. Oh, no, they finally hit their third land. Sure. But they cast it as the adventure mode, so I think we're actually supposed to do this now and put them to the test. And I think, yeah. Okay, well. I mean, I guess it's fun when it works, but it's not really all that interactive. You kind of just roll face. That's magic. So much magic. All right, 4 and 2 on to game 7. Yeah, that's a good enough hand. I mean, that's the nice thing about these cards like Daredevils. Since we don't have much removal in our deck, they act as kind of removals plus creature. Drawing a 1-drop off the top, clearly the clutch play. Okay, this could be another quick roll. The opponent is on the play, but they didn't do anything turn 1 or 2, and I went 1-drop, 2-drop. Plus they played a tap land. Yikes. Yeah, let's attack for 4. And I guess hope to hit a 4th land. Beautiful. That ain't good enough. I'm just going to discard our garbage 2-drop here. They didn't have removal earlier, so I'm going to assume that this Witch's Mark is going to resolve no problem. Great, and now we can play out the Spear Guard, which will trigger the Celebration, which will pump up the Ash. I mean... I don't think you can keep slow hands in this format anymore. You can have slow decks if you have good early interaction, but... Again, my experience lately is that this type of thing will happen if you, like, even the red-black deck, right? The Rats deck kind of does the same thing. It just starts swarming so quickly. Alright, 5 and 2. Come on, come on, come on. Daddy needs a trophy. It's a good hand. Ooh, the Tattered Ratter into our... Is that our one way to make a rat? Actually, no, no, no. Now we're gonna go Grand Ball Guest into it. Because we can instantly trigger the Celebration. Wow, that's really good. We're gonna make this play. Hit him for an extra point of damage. Whoa! Enchanted creatures you control get +2/+2. Oh my gosh. That is 10 damage. Holy crap. That's awesome. I mean, if they just kill me next turn, that's good beats. They can give that flying or something? That's incredible. I mean, they do need to keep triggering the Celebration for double strike, but that's a 2-turn clock by itself. Wow. Love that. I think I'm in just perma chump mode. I'm hoping they just play out their 3/3 or whatever here. Grasp of Fate. They're gonna get rid of my guest. That's more or less fine. Uh-oh. That's not good. Okay. Well, this time, if they attack and don't play anything pre-combat, I don't think I block. And if they can turn on the Celebration, so be it. They didn't do anything with 2 mana open after Grasp of Fate last turn, so yeah, if they just play Knight and pass, we win. I see. Oh, God, we were so close. Okay. Wow, we needed to draw a land there, or a spell there so badly. I think basically any spell wins us the game, but now we have to chump. Oh. Yeah, dang it. Man. So sick. That ain't good enough. We're just dead here. They can tap and attack. Ah, one too many lands. We needed like one more spell a turn sooner, and I think we might have been able to pull this off, but turns out a 5/6 double striker on turn 4 or whatever it was. A little bit too strong. Nice. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, we just didn't draw enough spells. God, that sucks, but that's Magic, baby. I mean, 2 of our losses were to like a flood and a screw. I don't remember what the first one was, but we got stuck on 3 lands in the mirror. We flooded out there pretty bad, so like just draw your cards correctly in this kind of deck and it's an easy roll, and 5 wins is still pretty good, so. In any case, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Don't pass Imodaine's Recruiter if you open it, because the card is absurd. See you back tomorrow. Bye-bye.